Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. First, let me shout out to everybody. Hola, good way to the bang, vases los, bonjour, Ms. Mi, kedu bawa ni konnichiwa, ni hao ni ama, sani bonani, jambo habaragani, assalamu alaikum, shalom, guten tag, guten abend, and bon dia. Alright, or, well, let's just leave it at that. This one, this one was sent to me by a scribe, right? And it's the narrative that I've been hitting on, it's something I've been saying for a minute. This is dedicated to those black women with the degree but don't need no man. All right. You got a degree that don't need no man. I kept saying that it's a trap. But it's a trap well laid for the black woman as they destroy the inner city, as they destroy the black community, as they splinter it apart, right? One of the other things that I realized is the significance of the destruction in the black community. The significance is so that there are no groups of good black men in the black community. So you don't have any critically thinking, historically based black men in the community. And let me tell you why this makes a difference. It's the black men that have critical thinking, not the thugs, not the wannabes, not the mama's boys. It's the black men that know how to risk. All right. And it's a black men that has a lot of other attributes that will allow them to survive as the rug keeps getting pulled off from under the feet of everybody. And trust me, Trump is elected, the rug is going to get pulled. Y'all say, why are some black men so giddy? Because the woman that has been hating us for so long gave us nothing but hate. The ones that shut down channels when people were trying to sound the warning. The ones that were stabbing dudes in the back when they was trying to talk to them and tell them out of love what was going on. Those women, the one that said the white man gave me my degree, he gave me my house, I don't need you, black man. Those women, right? The ones that raised us off so that we were serving everything but the Most High. The ones that had the black men stay was allowed to stay in the house and with the logic of the black men learn as I had learned the spirituality and to worship the one true Almighty instead of the demons, right? That everybody would have been doing better. Now imagine if we did things scripturally and each man had as many wives as he could take care of. Oh, but guess what? The wives also would be taken care of. Right? Now is every female dog for herself is because that's what black women are calling themselves now. Female dogs in heat. Every one of them for themselves. Right? And so, this woman, y'all won't hear it from a man. Y'all might need to see it, see what's happening when you get it from a woman. Right? This book that she wrote is a warning from a woman who does not worship the Most High, who did not listen to the Most High, who was like, it's my way or the highway, who was like, I'm a degree, I have this position, I have this, that, and the other. Right? This woman, she writes this book. And this is dedicated for the black women with the degrees that don't need no man, that's raising her children to be hellions, while the authorities are locking all your boys up, and while all your girls are being whored out, you're thinking, but I made it by myself? No, no one makes it by themselves in this country. You either work for the white man or you've been assisted by the white man. Period. By the white man, I mean those 5 families that run the world. Basically, that's it. See, black women didn't understand that they were still slaves, but their objective was to keep black men broke so that we could never get out of slavery, thereby raising our families out of slavery. Because what don't black women do? They don't raise a dang person out of slavery, and they don't lead nobody to the Most High. What black women do is they lead everybody to the God they feel like they want to serve, which is the white man God. And for the demons that's running the 5 families, the Bilderberger family, all right, the black woman is also happy to lead their black people, their black minions, their little families, to their gods. And yes, I'm going to say it again. The Jesus thing is a demon. Oh, we all believed it. But some of us was studying and studying and studying and studying, and we was wondering, why didn't certain things make sense scripturally? Scriptura, you know? So I want you to pay attention to this, right? Her name, the author of this, his name is Elizabeth White, 55, unemployed, faking normal. And she says everybody is pretending. All right. And this is done by PBS. Oh, the last bastion of any kind of news that we have. Right. So it's called 55 Unemployed and Faking It. One woman's story of barely scraping by PBS NewsHour. And so here's the clip of her interview.
Hey, brothers and sisters, let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and when you subscribe, click the notification bell. Now, you will see my Cash App and PayPal me link as usual in the description box, but above that is and this is going to be important, I'll explain it right now. Above that is going to be the link for the NGO's Instagram page. So what's happening is they got some donors that will donate if they some needed funds to them if they reach a particular benchmark and they're close. And so I am hoping that we could push them a lot closer and get them ahead of the game. Now I have about, within a day, 400 to 900 people that watches my videos. All right. If you made it to this part, please look in the description box at this moment. And even more important than what I'm doing right now, please click on that link. It'll be at the top. It'll be above my donation link. If you click on that link, please do that favor. Click on that link and subscribe to them. You don't have to say anything, write anything. You might want to take a look-see in what they're doing, but that's not it. You don't have to do much of anything else. They will get what they need if they meet that benchmark. And so let's try to help get them over the edge. Now, before you donate to me or anybody, you still take care of yourself and family first. But right now, that is very, very important. So if we can, let's subscribe to the Instagram. All right. So let's move it right along.
Now, our economics correspondent Paul Salmon takes a look at what has become the new normal for many members of the aging middle class: financial fragility. It's part of his weekly series, Making Sense, which airs Thursdays on the NewsHour.
And
everybody
this is affecting black women.
And that's
more.
why you call the book Faking Normal.
Right. Because there's a lot of pressure to seem like you are doing well.
Elizabeth White is not doing terribly well. As she painfully chronicles in the book she's just self-published, 55, Unemployed, and Faking Normal. White's been on the edge of the financial cliff for years, even though you'd never know it from how she looks, or the Washington, D.C. townhouse she bought years ago, one she couldn't even dream of renting today.
But you haven't been in a situation where you literally couldn't afford whatever it is, the condo fee or...
Oh, absolutely, I have. I'm right now have to park outside because I'm in arrears on the condo fee. Right now.
And she's refinanced to the hilt, taking in a boarder.
Well, you haven't used food stamps.
But I have. I've had to.
It's been quite a comeuppance for someone with her background.
I have a bachelor's from Oberlin. I have a master's in international studies from Johns Hopkins. I have a Harvard MBA. I worked at the World Bank, came in through a program where they recruited 5,000 people. They took 2 Americans out of that 25. I was one of the Americans.
But ultimately, White decided to leave the bank to start her own business.
I had a chain of stores, of decorative home stores.
Really?
Yes. I sold some of the things you see here, African-inspired products. I realized that there was an African-American market that wanted things in their home that reflected heritage and culture. If you wanted to give your little girl black raglandole, you couldn't easily find it. So I just curated that from all over. So I then bet the ranch that I could get this going. So I took a lot of my, not all of it, but I took a big chunk of my World Bank money to sort of fund this.
Retirement savings.
Savings. But it wasn't going, it was doing well, but I couldn't see my vendors of artists and producers were not going to be able to blow this out into a national chain. We're already struggling with volume.
Did you sell your stores?
No, closed it in the end. Just didn't work.
But steady consulting work allowed White to maintain an upper middle class lifestyle for a while, until the crash of '08.
Within 6 months, I went from, you know, probably close to $200.
$1,000 a year.
Right, to 0.
And after that, the jobs of the past were nowhere to be found.
This is, to me, where the age discrimination piece happened. I find it much harder at this phase of life to get hired than I did earlier.
But you look so young, and I'm not just saying that to, you know, flatter you or something. I mean, you surely can pass now. You're 62 or something? 63. And you could pass for your 50s easily, mid-50s, early 50s, right?
Early 50s is not considered young in the workplace.
No, it's not, as we learned in an interview with economist Teresa Ghilarducci, citing a study by the New York Federal Reserve.
From 45 to 55, wages decreased by 9%. From 55 to 65, another 9%. So this age earnings profile, where you kind of peak and then it flattens out and falls, that age of peaking is a lot younger than we ever thought.
And that corresponds to age discrimination as measured in economic experiments by the likes of Joanna Leahy, who sent fake resumes to employers. The red dots show where on the resumes HR managers looked and for how long.
And when does age discrimination start?
Immediately. It starts at age 35.
Really?
Yeah, it's a pretty steady process.
And it's women more than men?
It's definitely women more than men.
No
Women more
career
than men.
Coaches tell you to wipe the dates off your CV. But, says White,
When they then ask you to fill out the application, that's all algorithm driven, you cannot leave off when you graduated from college. And once you put that date in there,
Then it's...
College used to
they know.
entrap.
Now, as you get older, your network also is not what it used to be.
Because they're losing their jobs.
They're losing their jobs. They are retiring. They're not hearing about things. They're winding down. People have died.
so White has been scraping by with scattered freelance gigs.
So sort of bits and pieces that allow me to cobble together income.
But nowhere near the income of the past.
Oh, no.
Not
No.
even close.
No. I mean, again, I have years of, you know, under 30,000.
Help has come from unexpected sources, like neighborhood free spirit Elijah, a clothing minimalist.
I was getting on the far side of where my mortgage company was getting like serious with me.
Because you were behind in your payment.
Behind. He just said, Lizzie, I'll do it. I can do it.
But I'll do it meaning I'll make up the
yes,
difference.
I will do it.
He'll pay your mortgage.
Right. So this is my Elijah.
Watch this correction.
Yeah. I'm people's Elijah.
The Vietnam vet gets about $900 in monthly benefits, saves almost half.
I'm not a things person. How much money do you think I'm spending on my attire? Okay.
As he says, I have a few friends like you who are in the stuff world, is what he calls. You're always getting into some kind of mishap.
Grateful to get by, with a little help from her friends, White was also embarrassed.
You're the loser. You know, how can you have this kind of background and be landing here?
There must be something wrong with you.
It has to be. And then you read things like, oh, it's the latte factor. It's all that bottled water you were drinking. You know,
the latte factor, you were spending too much money on at Starbucks.
Right.
But you could have saved more, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So are you...
I could have not started a business. I stayed at the World Bank, not taken that, you know, risk.
But she did. Her reward? Financial fragility. Something she now shares with a surprisingly large portion of the former so-called middle class. From Washington, D.C., this is economics correspondent Paul Salman, grateful to be reporting for the PBS NewsHour.
And we're grateful you are too. In next Thursday's Making Sense, how common Elizabeth White's plight is these days and her tips for how to be normal in the face of financial adversity instead of continuing to fake it.
And I wanted to stop it here. JP Morgan Chase Bank of America and Wells Fargo earned more than $6 billion in overdraft fees. Y'all hear that? $6 billion in overdraft fees. $6 billion in overdraft fees. That's what we call robbery. You know why the white people gave you Christianity in the New Testament? So that they can do this to you and you wouldn't bat an eye, saying that I am being robbed. Right? This amounts to usury. It's against the commandments. But black people wouldn't know that because they only read the New Testament and white Jeebus, right? And so that demonology allows the white people to rob you in an unjust way. Only you don't understand that you're being robbed. And you don't understand this, and that every part of the illegal financial institutions set up by these 5 families, every part of it is illegal by commandment. But the reason why you don't know it, because you're ignorant behind is following their God. And their God is saying, which is a demon, they're saying, we got these suckers on the ropes. All right? So we're going to rob them for all that they own because they don't know the fight against this. Why? Because they don't read the scriptures that the Most High gave to them. That would be us, the black people. And since they're busy following the white people, whereas the white people should be following the example of the black people, that's what our intended purpose was. Not really to hate the white people, but to hate evil. So if white people are evil, then we hate them. Right? But we were supposed to be the light to the world. Not the white people, because they can't be the light. Black people were supposed to be the light to the world. Anywhere we were, as slaves or whatever, the white people came and took part of our culture. And surprisingly, this is big in Brazil, the Afro and Cuba and stuff. You look at the merger of our music, white people took it, kind of morphed it, like our music in the United States. It's the biggest thing that where you can recognize, and a lot of people are old enough to understand that, wait a minute, didn't they hate that music until they liked it? You see what I'm saying? And so basically, that means that we were the light, but we gave up that light to follow their gods, right? And their gods did a whole bunch of crooked things that's illegal to our Most High, all right, because their gods are demons. And the biggest one was white Jesus, Christianity. And with Christianity, it allowed that religion allowed them to rape our mentality, our minds, and everything else. It allowed them to pivot from living within your means, being responsible, living with love and dedication for family and stuff, to materialism. Trust me, this woman is a Christian. Oh, and she has that natural black hair. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't let the natural hair fool me. Right? I'll wait to see how you live and what you say. And how you deal with me. Period. All right? So, as we go along, right? And she's not looking bad for 60. Which means she was looking hella fine at 35, at 25. Oh, but what happened? Everybody, her mama black, put in her head, you don't need no man. Go out, get your education. All right? And then you can go work for the white man all your life, right? Oh, but if you ever decide to branch off on your own without no man, you're going to be stuck by yourself or with a man that you don't want, that's going to be using you. You understand? So all the degrees she has is not helping her now. Wait a minute. The degrees are now her trap. Oh, y'all missed that, right? The degree is now her trap. She says you can leave your age off, but you have to put in what year you graduated. Now, especially for women, especially for black women. See, because the white women have the support of their husbands. In general still. The feminist white women, they're not going to make it, but they have more of a club than the black feminists, all right, and they have more of pull than black feminists. Oh, but guess what? Trump is pulling that rug off from under them too. You understand? Now, with the black feminists that don't need no man, you stuck out on your own. All right? Remember, the scripture said you will be hated on all sides. It says the ones that you hate will hate you. The ones you hated but gave your draws up to will hate you. Ezekiel. Oh, y'all don't remember that? Allow me to refresh your memory. And so Ezekiel, just in case y'all forgot, and I shall put it into your wickedness and your whorings from the land of Mizraim, so that you do not lift your eyes to them, neither remember Mizraim anymore. For thus saith Master Yahweh, see, I am giving you into the hands of those whom you hate, into the hands of those whom you being turned in disgust. So remember, the ones that she's supposed to hate, all right, now she's giving her into the hands that to those who she's supposed to hate. They shall deal with you in hatred. They shall take away all you have worked for, and they shall leave you naked and bare. Sounds like what's happened to this woman. And the nakedness of your whoring shall be uncovered, and the wickedness of your whoring, I do this because of your whoring after the Gentiles, because you have been defiled by their idols. You know that little degree that you hold up as a god, that's one of their idols. You idolize that degree. It's the first thing you throw up in a black man's face. We're the most educated because you made education an idol. It's not a tool, it's an idol. But you were brainwashed by the white man's education. All right, it's one thing to go to college to learn his ways, to learn a field. All right, trade school would have been better, but no, you went, understand this, you went there to lord it over your black man, black woman, and they're going to make you pay the price. Oh, no, not when you're 20, 35. Wait till you start hitting 40. And we don't want you. All right. Now, all that stuff is going to go by the wayside. Oh, and there's no safety net from the government. Oh, the time is come for everybody to pay the piper. All right. This woman was fine back in the day. All right. She could have had her good husband, but didn't want one. All right. So remember, this woman got into such dire strait that this Elijah, I want you to pay close attention to him. A minimalist. This is a dude that was a veteran of the Vietnam War. Understand something about this vet. He's living far worse conditions than what you see him in now. All right. And I want you to understand something. Because he has helped her, she wanted to claim ownership of him. This is my Elijah. And he said, no, home skillet. I am the people's Elijah. Black women don't seem to understand that us black men do not belong to you. You're supposed to belong to us. We belong to the Most High. But you keep getting it twisted. That's why you're going to stay behind in trouble. Now let me replay something.
Bits and pieces that allow me to cobble together income.
But nowhere near the income of the past.
No.
Not even close.
No. I mean, I have years of, under 30,000.
Help has come from unexpected sources.
I can live well
like
under
neighborhood
30,000.
free spirit Elijah, a clothing minimalist.
I was getting on the far side of where my mortgage company was getting like serious with me.
Because you were behind in your payment.
Behind. He just said, Lizzie, I'll do it. I can do it.
But I'll do it meaning I'll make up the difference.
I will do it.
He'll pay your mortgage.
Right. So this is my Elijah. This is my Elijah. Yeah.
I'm people's Elijah.
The Vietnam vet gets about $900 in monthly benefits, saves almost half.
I'm not a things person. How much money do you think I'm spending on my attire? Okay.
As he says, I have a few friends like you who are in the stuff world, is what he calls. And you're always getting into some kind of mishap.
Grateful to get by, with a little help from her friends, White was also embarrassed.
You're the loser. How can you have this kind of background and be landing here?
There must be something wrong with you.
It has to be. And
there is.
Things like, oh, it's the latte factor. It's all that bottled water you were drinking. The
latte factor, you were spending too much money on at Starbucks.
Right.
But you could have saved more, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So are you...
I could have not started a business. I stayed at the World Bank, not taking that, risk.
But she did. Her reward? Financial fragility. Something she now shares with a surprisingly large portion of the former so-called middle class. From Washington, D.C., this is economics correspondent Paul Salman, grateful to be reporting for the PBS NewsHour.
And we're grateful you are, too.
So at the end of the day, who had to come and save her black behind? That's right, a black man that know how to live under the circumstances and understand the trickery of the white man in a way that the black women never can, never will, and never could. All right, the black man she didn't need when she was 25, she need now. This dude don't come around, she loses everything and don't have no place to live. Now she, with her degrees, which don't help her now, end up walking around by force in the way he's walking around by choice. With that said, I'm out.
And the wall keeps winning.